effective October 10, 2014. Therefore, the chairman's office will be dissolved effective June 14, 2014. I thank MD Ranganath, the Dean of my office, Mr. H.R. Vinod, Deepak Padki and Rohan Murthy for their extraordinary commitment to their task. I am also very happy that Mr. K.V. Kamath will become the non-executive chairman of the company on October 11, 2014. I have known him for over 40 years, and 45 years, and I can tell you that he is one of the finest corporate leaders this country has ever seen. Therefore, this company is lucky to have him as the non-executive chairman once again. While the first three people from my office will move over to new responsibilities at Infosys, Rohan Murthy will leave the company on June 14, 2014, that is today, since his stay in the company is coterminous with my stay in an executive role, as I had promised when I came in. We, the founders, wish the new CEO the best. I hope the media will treat him fairly, based on data and facts, and not on rumors and speculation. One thing is certain, my friends. Like the other founders before us have done, the now departing founders will not make public comments on the internal affairs of the company based on rumors, half-truths, and speculation, and thus demotivate the people working hard to make Infosys a better company. This company has given prestige, wealth, and fame to an average person like me. I will remain ever grateful to this company. Let me now talk about some of the strategic issues in some detail. To build a stronger foundation for the future, we also started some strategically critical initiatives that I believe, if continued by the next CEO, have the potential to change the DNA of this organization for the better in the medium to long-term time frame. I believe each one of these initiatives will change not just Infosys, but I believe ultimately the entire IT industry in India. First, I've always believed that in any industry where work is streamlined, we must measure the productivity of each individual. The manufacturing industry learned this lesson probably 30 years ago, and it has done this so well. However, the software industry has not embraced this idea as yet. Therefore, nearly 11 months ago, we started an initiative to measure the productivity of our engineers across various service lines. Productivity, as you know, my friends, is output produced per unit cost incurred. But measuring this metric in the context of a software engineer is a non-trivial task. Imagine if an engineer could see on a daily basis how productive he or she is with respect to the rest of the team. What a wonderful scenario it is. This would empower him or her to improve his or her work habits and reduce wasted effort. This will help the project manager better allocate work and manage resources. To achieve this goal, we used a big data approach. That is, we built software and associated algorithm to systematically collect data at various points of the software development life cycle, and then use this data to build sophisticated models, and we will, I believe, ultimately measure people against this model. Yes, teamwork is very important, but it is also important to measure and recognize the performance of an individual. Today, after several pilots, we have begun rolling this out across the company. This is extremely valuable as a feedback to individuals, as it gives them an additional dimension to improve their use of time and their work habits. We believe this culture of individuals being aware of their productivity has the potential to improve how appraisals are done, how wasted effort is reduced in projects, how we deliver software to our clients, and ultimately how we sell services to our clients. Folks, let me tell you, in my 40 plus years of experience in this industry, this individual productive initiative is clearly non-trivial and very unique. I believe Infosys will be the first company in the software industry to do this, and at a scale. I firmly believe that it has the potential to transform our organization at a fundamental level. Second, we started initiatives to introduce automation in software development in the company. When we talk of automation, we do not mean reducing effort by a few small percentage points. Our goal has been to drastically reduce effort and substitute with software systems and machine learning algorithms wherever possible. I am happy to report to you that our initial results have been very promising, and they have excited me so much that I have begun reading my books on machine learning once again. When we live in a world where we have software that powers self-driving cars, as Google has done, or robotic telescopes that automatically discover supernovae in the sky, we still have human effort in this industry for executing simple, deterministic or nearly deterministic and finite steps to solve problems for our enterprise clients. Why are these not done by machines instead? I believe the state of our industry today has not kept up with the state of the art in computer science. Computer science has progressed to such an extent that we must stop and ask ourselves whether we can indeed gain efficiencies by using intelligent software agents to do a lot of our work today. This improves productivity and lowers costs for our clients. Furthermore, as the commoditization of our core business increases, the primary differentiating factor in the marketplace will almost entirely be determined by technological advances. One such advance is in finding extreme efficiencies in improving productivity in our software delivery for our clients. Therefore, I believe the silver bullet for this company, and in fact the entire Indian IT industry in the medium to long term, will be in how much of what we do today can be done faster and cheaper by employing intelligent software agents. I am truly excited by this future, and I believe it is no longer an option, my friends, but it is critical for the survival of this company and this industry. Some people have misunderstood my emphasis on the need to focus on the traditional bread and butter business, that is to win large deals in commoditized businesses. This is necessary since, as of today, this is where the scale and the core business lie. This is where the growth comes from. We had forgotten this in the last 2 years. But I firmly believe that with the approaches I have outlined thus far, we can deliver these services at significant efficiencies and therefore make acceptable profit. Therefore, my friend, we can dramatically improve our competitiveness in winning such deals thanks to these software agents. In the last couple of years, it has been evident that the market determines the price and therefore the company must determine the cost. Third, Infosys has always been, is, and will hopefully continue to be a technology company. be it by my wonderful colleagues in 1981 or today. We all believe that it is technology that will drive the core of this company, and that its employees must engage in and celebrate a culture of technology. This is what will ultimately create sustainable differentiation for your company in the marketplace. Hence, we have started a range of initiatives in the company to reinforce and encourage technical competence and the culture of respecting this competence. That is, by creating a separate stream for excellent code writers, we call them code poets, to revising the career path for excellent technology architects, and to introducing various mechanisms to better ascertain the technical competence of our people. Fourth, I have always believed in the importance of energetic and passionate people. Therefore, I have operated on a simple principle, and that is the learnability of an individual is more important than the so-called experience. I am amazed that Hindustan Lever, with its excellent Listers program, identified, mentored, and eventually promoted a then young Windy Banga to its CEO post in his early 40s. The history of Infosys itself is replete with such stellar examples from the day it was founded in 1981.